Hello everyone and welcome back to game number 2 here between HGT and IG. Game number 1 went the way of IG, a little bit one-sided, but HGT did very well to hold themselves in the game. Faceless Void unfortunately died a couple of times, which opened up the base for IG, but I'm Durka here, taking you through the D2CL action here today, sponsored by Twitch. Let's head into game 2, see what we're dealing with, and have a look at the draft. Also, welcome in Scant, my co-commentator.
Yeah, I think probably safe to say IG were trying something out last game. I mean, we spoke about how Ferrari's run the sniper before, but as I said, it's not the kind of hero he's doing best on at the moment. Also, Burning playing Quap for the first time in competitive Dota last game. So this time they ban out the Quap in the first phase, they get their Storm and their Phoenix, and these are two heroes that they've used a lot recently. Both Lure and Faith been running the Phoenix, and Ferrari's been running probably the most impressive Storm in the world of late. So it does seem that maybe IG going back to something more standard, something that they do more often, because sure they won the last game and it ended up looking not that difficult when it got to the end, but you get the feeling that if Burning was like if maybe Ferrari was Quap and Burning was Sniper, that IG would have won the game a bit faster.
Yeah, well, they are definitely going back to something that they're more comfortable with here. Ferrari on the Storm Spirit, then Faith on that Phoenix is something we talked about in game number 1, where you put Phoenix into the support role. But as soon as Lure gets a little bit of farm and is looking to run around and make kills, that's when you send Faith back up to top. Get him level 6, get him a little bit of gold. But it does come down to what kind of offlaner you give Lure. You know, do you give him a Clockwork here? There aren't too many options out there. Batrider's gone, Axe has been taken. So they'll go with a safe old Earthshaker for Chuan then? Or are you going to give Lure the Phoenix straight up for the offlane?
So it's tricky, right? Because actually, if you look at IG's games yesterday, Lure's played Phoenix yesterday, but he also played offlane Earthshaker yesterday.
Ooh.
So
you never know.
So we could see Faith and Lure on Phoenix and Earthshaker, or on Earthshaker and Phoenix in either direction. I think probably. I don't think Chuan does play the ES usually.
No, I can't think of a game where he's played. It's been Faith. Like Chuan's heroes are basically ranged, more mobile support heroes to pick up Blink Daggers, Rubik, Lion, things like that. Sometimes a Witch Doctor here and there, but I'm not too sure. HGT going back for the old favorite Silencer. The Shadow Fiend Lion and Axe picked up initially, while IG, they banned out the Wisp. Banning Wisp against HGT, that's one of their favorite heroes for Kaka. Queen of Pain, Chen, and the Juggernaut, the 3 further bans. Chen, pretty hard, has been really convincing me of his skill when he plays Chen. We've seen some really impressive performances from him, while HGT banned out Batrider, Troll, Treant, and Lycan. Treant, something that Chuan has played, and it's done really well when comboed up with the Phoenix.
Yeah, Treant's a hero that every team, I think, that picks Phoenix is always considering picking. On the other hand, I suppose the Treant was banned before they picked Earthshaker. I was about to say you don't pick Treant and Earthshaker together, but yeah, the Treant got banned before the Earthshaker pick, so maybe it would have been a Treant if it wasn't banned.
Witch Doctor.
And IG take the Witch Doctor. That will be Chuan's hero here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He has been running Witch Doctor with them recently. So the question is still between the Earthshaker and the Phoenix, which one's going to be the core and which is going to be the support.
I'm banking more towards Phoenix core and Earthshaker support, but you never know. So we're looking at a Burning hero as the 5th and final for IG. Juggernaut's not there. Axe is not there. These are heroes that he has been playing, you know, the brawling types of once it hits 15 minutes in, you go and kill people and push into towers. But what are we looking at for Burning? The Drow ban out there from HGT is pretty good. Drow and Phoenix, from opposite sides of the maps, they can help each other out.
Yeah, and Storm Spirits, I mean, if Ferrari Storm Spirit is not oppressive enough on its own with the Drow aura, it's going to get even worse. Meanwhile, HGT looking for what looks like also their safe laner. I mean, the Axe could be the safe laner, but usually it's the off laner. It's probably the Icy hero.
Ooh.
Well, now we don't know, because Bristleback can go safe or off, and so can Axe. So, not going to be sure what HGT run there.
I think you want the Axe safe lane here. You want the fast blink dagger at around 9 minutes, along with, well, actually saying this now, we've seen Vanguard first item pick up for Axe so often.
Yeah.
So the blink dagger then comes a couple of minutes later, but I'm just thinking against the Storm Spirit. Storm, you want that fast blink, get in there and get those kills.
Is there even a possibility of a core silencer with a jungle axe? Probably not. That seems a bit too greedy.
That seems super greedy.
So IG for burning, they picked the Juggernaut a lot recently. They actually banned it themselves this game. Also banning the Lifestealer, so there's some respect. I mean, I've been trying to puzzle out Lifestealer coming up in China again recently, and banning the Lifestealer, probably, I think the first time I've seen anyone ban the Lifestealer.
I think we've seen it once or twice against VG. You know, How has been playing it pretty consistently. Just banning Lifestealer. It's kind of... Oh. It's kind of like one of those brood bans, you know, 5th ban. Oh, look, there's still that one hero that they can play really well. Let's take that out of the picture. But Luna picked up there for burning.
They're like, you ban Drow, but there's another hero that can give people damage. It's Luna. Because they ban Drow and Lycan, actually. So it does seem like they're banning heroes that, like, give people damage. As silly as it sounds. And Luna does that, and she's also just, you know, a good hero. And very much a burning hero, I would say.
Well, we'll see how they do with it. So Faith on the Earthshaker, Chuan playing the Witch Doctor, Luo on that Phoenix. So it will be offlane Phoenix. Well, no, damn it! I should have waited 5 seconds more.
Well,
Damn
maybe
it.
they'll swap again. Maybe they'll swap again. No, it doesn't look like they're swapping again.
They're not swapping.
And this is, yeah, yesterday when I watched Luo on the offlane Earthshaker, he actually played it as though he was a 3rd support. He spent not that much time in lane. I mean, he did the normal thing Earthshakers do where you block off and get early value. But around level 3 or so, he was roaming around the map. And of course, because Faith can sit in that offlane in this game, it's going to work even better. In the game yesterday, I don't think they had a Phoenix. But Luo did really well, just rotating around the map as an Earthshaker as if they had an extra support. So I think that's probably what we're going to see out of him again here. And I like that, because a lot of the time we see the offlane Earthshaker run, the Earthshaker tries to just get more and more value in the offlane and ends up actually getting very little, because there's a gimmick of fissure blocking and getting creeps to your tower, but that only goes so far. And you get to a point where you're actually getting less value trying to sit in lane than you would if you're going off fissuring people.
Yeah, there's only a limited amount of mana that you've got and how many fishes you can throw. With 3 clarities, it will, you know, give him a few more there. But getting last hits is really not that easy. A nice little ward here from the Radiant. HGT do like these lane wards, just to spot out when the offlane hero is moving, you know, to and from the tower. But more importantly, I think, towards the bounty rune down at bot.
You were right about the safe lane axe though, which I think makes sense. So ZSMJ is going to be running that axe, and I think you're also probably right that whether or not they get the Vanguard first, the idea is that they want him to get the fast blink dagger. That's why they prioritize his farm, because it's... I mean, they've got the Silencer Global, they've got Lion if he gets blink, but really their first method of containing Storm Spirits is axe to get a blink and kill him once or twice.
Well, let's have a look at these lanes. Chuan on the Witch Doctor up at top, supporting Burning on the Luna, while they're facing up against Icy's Bristleback. Mid lane, Kaka, Lion, and Air Shadow Fiend battling up against Faith's Phoenix and Ferrari's Storm Spirit. Ferrari actually bringing himself a little more regen, Salve arriving on the courier for him. Knowing he'll be dealing with this dual lane for a short while, it's not really ideal for him.
Yeah, did you actually see? I didn't see, but definitely I don't think either team planned a dual lane mid. So, did Faith see that Lion's there and come there, or was the Phoenix there first and the Lion moved there?
I'm not too sure. I think maybe that Kaka is here just to try and secure the initial wave and a half or 2 waves for air. But even then, Ferrari getting a deny in. And laying down the harass onto Kaka, dropping him to about 1/3 of his HP. Ferrari turning this back around.
He's out-CSing SF in a really big way, despite the fact that Lion was here. I mean, SF's had almost a whole extra wave of creeps, I think. And 1-5 versus 1-1. 2-5 versus 1-1.
Yeah, meanwhile down the bot lane, Luo taking the harass of Curse and Battle Hunger. ZSMJ on the axe, pretty hard on the Sansa, while Kaka does make his way down here. But the dual lane mid, you know, it's something we see occasionally when the player is more likely than not it's a Shadow Fiend that wants a little bit more support. But it's when the player isn't 100% confident in the hero matchup or the skill matchup. And Ferrari with the Storm Spirit, he does win out early on with, you know, level 1 in Remnant, clearing out the wave, pushing it, controlling Equilibrium. Level 2, get the Overload, that's when you start laying down the harass onto the SF. Things get a little bit easier for air as the lane progresses, you get more in raises, but then it tips. Storm hits level 6 and suddenly there's that kill potential.
When we were trying to call during the draft who's Phoenix and who's Earthshaker, we should have been able to figure it out because there's a silencer on HGT.
Oh.
And you don't you don't run the offlane Phoenix versus the support silencer.
Of course, good point.
It hurts it really. And I think for the same reason, we're seeing Faith defending this top lane, because normally when IG do run this Phoenix, he goes and helps the offlaner eventually leaves and he becomes the offlaner. But again, there's that support silencer, so Faith's gonna have a slightly different role to what he normally has on the Phoenix, even as a support Phoenix, because I don't know if we'll see him move into that offlane even after Earthshaker leaves.
Does that sentry ward block the camp? Because that's not the regular place for the dewarding sentry down in Radiant. Oh, Citizen J is creep skipping. And now Luo, he's caught in a pretty difficult position here with the boots. It'll allow him to just juke around the tower, get out of the range of the axe. Yes, that sentry ward does block the camp.
So that's a mistake. You're supposed to eat the tree to the left of that sentry and put it on that spot.
Oh, Luo dies here. He's getting closed in. Caught in the trees. He gets the enchant shot totem down on 2. Now Faith is joined. Throws out some fiery spirits. They can't get right clicks down, but it looks like Luo is still going to fall. ZFJ throws down the Berserker's Call. But these enchant totems, what the hell? The turnaround kill actually lands for Faith.
Yeah, and very well done by Faith there, I think. There's such a temptation there to help his Earthshaker from the immediate threat. He put some spirits on, one spirit on the axe, and then just chase down the silencer, not even interested in, you know, trying to draw attention away from the Earthshaker. Earthshaker gets away, Faith manages just to find the kill, and he'll be more than happy to die after making the kill.
Those enchant totems though, the value, like 1-1-1 build where you've got Aftershock and enchant totem, both of them saved his life. The one here catching 2, then again, here. Both heroes in range, and I don't know if it's a little bit of misplay from HGT, just allowing themselves to be in that position. Or Luo, you know, definitely realizing the situation he's in and turning things back around.
I was saying that the Phoenix can't move to the offlane because of the silencer, and what are they going to do when the Earthshaker wants to leave? Well, it looks like the Witch Doctor's going to stand here for a while Earthshaker goes to gang.
Well, last it was 31 for 4 on Burning, just building up into...
SF's dead, SF's dead.
Fisher into Fiery Spirits, Ferrari, the triple F. As the Razors are turned back around, but he'll just burn through. In comes Kaka. Earth Spike does hold Luo in, holds Faith in place. I see the Phoenix, and I think Luo for some reason. Luo on the Earthshaker will escape with a TP out.
It's funny. Yesterday I was watching the BTS cast of IG vs LGD, and they kept calling the Phoenix Lure as one. And it was actually LGD who had it. So it was, yeah. So it seems like everyone just calls Phoenix Lure. It's just like a thing.
It seems nice. Phoenix, it's Luo, definitely. Pretty hard. Running around with no brown boots, no nothing, one clarity. Looking pretty poor. Icy. Is that going to be a Ring Basilius? The Ring of Protection obviously is pretty nice, coupled up with the Stat Shield, just to give you that little boost of stats against the Luna, who right-clicks like a truck. She's a little woman on a little beast, but the attacks that come out aren't so small.
I think HGT, it's a lot about the axe right now.
Yeah.
He needs to get that fast blink, he needs to get things done with that fast blink, and things are, other than that, it's hard to see things developing in a positive direction for them in the early to mid game.
Well, when you look at this, Ferrari's now hit level 6. Oh, bot rune Chuan. No, doesn't get caught out. The cast bounces back onto the real axe. And Chuan will escape with his life. When you look at the Storm, he's nearly level 7. His killing time is nearing. And then, once he starts snowballing, you know, he's going to get a couple of kills under his belt. Maybe he dies once or twice. But his item progression, what halts it? What actually stops it? It's a global silence. It's maybe the Hex from Lion. But it's the axe blink into call that has to track Ferrari down non-stop in this game.
Yep, and Ferrari just rotated to the top lane. They try to get it. They were hoping to kill Bristol back, but IC had the presence of mind to move back at that time. They'll get a tower instead. I think they'll be more than happy to get a tower.
Ferrari TPing down to bot. They're going to try and find ZSMJ here. Stunned up. The Maledict lands and the right clicks come in. Axe will get one dunk in return for his life. Tries to magic stick through and get as much value as he can out of his remaining seconds on this earth.
And is that an overall good... Did Axe gain gold from that? From getting a kill and dying?
I don't think so. Well, it depends. Did he spend his money? No.
No, so he probably didn't. He probably lost a gold overall there. Which is, again, like that seems like the critical factor here. It's how fast does he get that blink and how fast does he start doing things with it. We've certainly, like, the more the game goes this way, that even though we've seen Axes go Vanguard and then blink when they're in the safe lane, the more I'm starting to think this has got to be that rash blink. Because there's just, it feels to me like there's pressure on him to do things with blink as soon as possible, and to do things as soon as possible you need to have it as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, that sentry. The Radiant trying to de-war their ancient camp, but not quite, not quite. Just out of range of the sentry they put down. Now, where is Burning? Burning, I was wondering what kind of item build he was going to go for before it all kicked off down on the bot lane. There are so many builds on Luna which, you know, involve stats. There are so many small deviations where it's down to player preference. You know, some go drums after tread, some finish off the Ring of Aquila. The early Helm of the Dominator is always nice, but then, you know, you see the Mask of Madness and Skadi builds from people like Harney back in the day, Eternal Envy. He's actually gone for Helm of the Dominator into Quelling Blade, so he's really going to focus on farming the jungle, it feels like here. Give Faith and Chuan a little bit of time on this top lane to hit level 6 and get a few items. But Burning, it's time to farm the jungle.
Yeah, and dominated up that troll and gonna start making stacks for himself, although it looks like Lua will make the first one himself. Remember, and this is what we used to see when Luna's got picked up, the Helm of Dominator into ancient stacks into suddenly lots of gold.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up, like, remember back in the day when Gyrocopter and Luna were the top picks because they could do precisely that. They would build up this bank of gold over in the ancient pits and get themselves a nice boost there. Now it's so much more jungle centric. You know, you stack up the
mid lane. Just look at mid lane.
Well, the four-man rotation in.
This Axe just got his blink dagger. They immediately smoked him, and Ferrari just on point, like sensing it. There's nothing else except that he sensed it. He didn't see anything. I mean, I guess he saw people off the map.
I don't know. I think it may be just a happy coincidence. They're gonna find Faith with that initial blink, but I think it's a happy coincidence. Chuan had just been stacking up jungle camps for him, so he's got a couple of medium camps to go. Maybe he did sense it.
It's just, you know, I'm happy to say it's a coincidence, except that I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
With Ferrari in particular playing Storm Spirit, that he chooses the exact time that they're trying to gang him to go off to the jungle.
Guys, they're coming for me. They're all off the map. Radiant, they are stacking up some camps of their own. They need a way to get air back into this game. He's got his mech fully completed, but no treads, and I guess 10-minute mech is pretty good timing. He's got 62 last hits, his net worth is pretty good, but he hasn't had a massive impact just yet. The 5-man push now will shortly come here from HGT. Just get into these towers, get themselves that nice little bit of gold in their pocket. As mid lane, they're jumping onto Faith again. ZSMJ looking for a kill here, and with the last word.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, the silencer, what we were talking about before. Phoenix is going to find it difficult to turn into an extra core or solo lanes. He's weak against the Blink Axe, he's weak against the silencer, and a lot of combinations of heroes can just pick him off if he's alone. But they're not killing the Storm. And the Storm is the hero that they most want to kill. They've slowed his farm. The Luna is actually the one leading the farm. Burning is looking much more like Burning this game than in the previous game.
Well, they've given him a farming hero. Luna with those glaives going to be clearing through these jungle camps pretty damn easily. His net worth now is closing on 6,000 11 minutes into the game. Luo has managed to pick himself up Tranquil Boots and Soul Ring.
Do you think part of the choice to take Luna is... Oh, okay.
Bot lane, are they really going for this? It's pretty damn risky. The Fisher misses and now they're going to back themselves up, surely. Surely you've got to back up. The Death Ward, not going to have vision, not going to be in range even. As Chuan and Luo missing out on a kill there. ZSMJ finds the Phoenix. Faith dying in the jungle to the jump from Axe. And it looks like he's going to get the chop as well.
Well, Axe is getting a lot done. So, since he got Dagger, he's made 4 kills, I think. Maybe even... Yeah, he already had 1. He's got 4 since he got Dagger. And that's what we were talking about. He needs to make that kind of space for his team, and he's doing it right now. He's absolutely doing it. I could see at the end why Earthshake and Witch Doctor wanted to dive Bristleback if they get the Maledict with the Fissure with the Death Ward, but the Fissure didn't actually hit, the Death Ward didn't hit at all, so it just... In the end, they overforced that situation. And IG... Okay, Ferrari's gonna find Pretty Horde. That's gonna be a kill for him, I think.
I was just watching the Silencer's path, seeing where he'd end up, and it looks like he'll end up in his grave. Ferrari with the Soul Ring treads, more than enough mana pool, damage, and distance to bring down that Silencer in short measure. And now, engine stack taken by Burning. What, does this push him up to 7k? Pretty damn... yeah, over 7k in fact, with these two Black Dragons.
Of course, the Pretty Horde actually getting close to level 6, and we said the Axe needs to do a lot, but the Silencer ulti is also going to do quite a lot. I think that obviously it has a long cooldown, especially as a support Silencer is going to take long to level it up. Well, the cooldown doesn't change, but yeah, so ignore that. But obviously there's a long cooldown, but there are going to be those windows where using Global Silence they can make plays, even in combination with the Axe, the two together. So that's something that IG are going to need to watch out for. And I wanted to ask you if you think that's part of why they last picked the Luna for Burning, because it's sort of one of the better cores to fight against Global Silence. It doesn't really care that much, does it?
Yeah, I guess so. If you pick something like, you know, Anti-Mage or Spectre, they've still got to try and blink or haunt or do something, throw a dagger here and there. Luna, yeah, you're not going to be casting Lucent Beam or Eclipse. Whatever, you can use them as finishers. Wait until Global's done, and then you clean up with them. But...
and she does go into Mancer and BKB usually, but yeah, it's not the end of the world if she can just keep right-clicking things when she's silenced.
yeah, definitely. Burning.
Oh wow. Have you seen Churn's item build? He's going Midas. He's going Midas Witch Doctor.
No.
He is. I'm so sure he is, because I saw a different Witch Doctor player do this yesterday, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was for newbie. I want to say maybe it was actually I really a Chinese support player yesterday went Midas on Witch Doctor. Oh, it was MMY. It was MMY, and MMY managed to farm Midas into Aghanims into Shadowblade and just absolutely dominates all around the map on support Witch Doctor. So I think Chuan saw that and he's like, if MMY can do it, so can I.
Well, it's one of those item pickups that you see on, you know, Silencer, Crystal Maiden, or AA, where they know they're not going to get farm priority. They can't go for Ag's Rush. They can't go, you know, they don't want to go for a Force Staff or something like that, because you've got the Earthshaker who's, you know, going to be farming Blink Dagger. He's technically a core hero here. You said he's playing like a third support, but he definitely needs top 3 farm priority. Storm Spirit and Luna, obviously, they're going to be top 2. So where does the Witch Doctor get his farm from? He's got to go for Midas. He's got to try and get some kind of value out of the map. He's not going to be getting last hits. He can't farm the jungle. There's no real way for him to keep that GPM flowing. And Faith, he's kind of just going to be the sacrificial lamb. He's playing the full 5, buying wards, staying pretty damn low on the net worth chart. He's only just ahead of the Silencer, in fact. But you take a look at Burning, and he's closing it on 9,000 now. 11 minutes in, he was sitting at 6, but the blink in. ZSMJ has found Burning, the global now. Silencing up Chuan, but he already launched out the cask. Finger of Death will finish off that Luna. Kaka coming in at just the right time, and man, Kaka's close to his blink as well.
Yeah, you gotta say, HGT in a much stronger position right now. And it's obvious from the fact that IG don't even consider contesting when HGT push lanes. Last game I said Shadow Fiend had fast mech. It didn't really matter because Lua had his own mech and IG were able to just take on those fights, but especially when the global's up. But I want to say maybe even when the global's not up, IG are scared. They're very scared of taking these fights.
Right now, though, Ferrari looking for Kaka. Gets hexed off first. ZSMJ, Berserker's call. They've caught him out. Ferrari might just die here with the Earth Spike. They've probably got enough damage. Maybe not. It's getting close. He zips himself away. Supernova's dropped onto Kaka's head as he tries to make a run for it. That was getting pretty close, though, on Ferrari. Buys up the Bloodstone recipe, realizing how little time he had left.
And Faith getting punished because he tried on the back end after his ulti to chase down the lion.
Really?
Nearly killed him. He did hit him with the spirit, but not enough in the end.
I kind of just assumed that the Supernova would end it and he'd dive himself away and everything would be fine and happy. I went to watch bot lane and, you know, see what was going on down there. Did not expect Faith to go for the ballsy aggressive play.
Yeah, my feeling is that IG are getting a little bit angsty. They're not comfortable right now. They don't like the fact that, I mean, sure, this is a team full of players that are happy to get farm. Certainly Ferrari and Burning are happy to farm, and Churn with his Midas clearly happy to farm. But they don't like being in a position where they can't make kills at all, and that's what it feels like. It feels like HGT would have to misstep for IG to make kills.
Well, HGT are heading through the dire jungle, hunting down Luo. Not sure if they're going to find him. He's 400 gold away from his blink, and he really does not want to die here. But hot on his tail. ZSMJ, blink forward call, not going to land. Luo does a little dance, and he initially got away, but after the force staff from the axe, they'll bring him down. Culling Blade, a little bit too late there as the last word brings him low enough for a final spin.
And ZSMJ, I've seen twice now his force staff doing a lot of work. I like this build that we're seeing more and more from the Chinese axes, the blink into force. It's not a completely new build, but I do think in the West, like recently, we've seen more like blink Vanguard or blink Crimson Guard, blink. There was a stage of people going axe. They don't really do it anymore.
No.
Blink Blade Mail, that's a big one.
Right now, it's either Vanguard Blink or Blink Blade Mail or Blink BKB sometimes even, depending on how the game's going. But yeah, rarely do we see the Force Staff. It is a very nice mobility item. You know, wouldn't not say it's never picked up. Great Death Ward here with the Maledict onto Icy. Tron gonna try and find a pickoff in the Radiant jungle. And this is one of the great things about Witch Doctor. When you're maxing out Maledict, you can find basically solo pickoffs like that. Sure enough, Faith helped out, but that was Chuan.
Yeah, Midas, Witch Doctor, killing an enemy bristleback. It's pretty cool that this hero can do that.
It was something that I saw from Hansken on NIP. I think they were playing against Empire or something like that. But he went 6-0-10 or something on a Witch Doctor in a 40-minute game. Did die when they were trying to push into base though. He was just running around. Oh, it was against 4 ASC. I remember now. It was NIP against 4 ASC. They were hunting down Boogie's Tidehunter. I say they. He, the solo Witch Doctor, was literally smoking up, going into the enemy jungle to find the Tidehunter. Because he knew that one of two things would happen. One, he'd kill the Tidehunter if he landed Maledict and Death Ward. Or two, Tidehunter would blow Ravage and waste it so that in the next team fight they could just run in rampant.
Yeah, it's not a position that Tidehunter wants to be in. And yeah, Witch Doctor, for a long time, people had completely skipped Maledict. And recently it's come more and more back into people's choices. And it's a really potent skill, actually. Especially when a lot of teams are picking like these tanky heroes, which are difficult to kill. Maledict goes so far towards killing a hero like Bristleback, which usually you struggle to kill.
Blink Dagger for Luo now as well. Ferrari with Bloodstone completed. Big items coming out for IG. Chuan, I still can't believe you went for Midas. He's got the funniest item set on as well. They're all the really old school chunky items.
I feel like there's some kind of like fun rivalry between people like Churn and MMY, maybe even FY in the Chinese scene, the flashier 4-position support players. You know, when support Mirana was really big in China, MMY was actually the guy who was doing it the most, and then like it became Churn's thing and MMY stopped doing it. This is why, yeah, I've seen MMY completely dominate the game with it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Churn's just directly copied him.
Oh, they've gone in and burning the Berserk's Call. Oh man, they just evaporate burning on that Luna. Global Silence is popped, so there's no further initiation from IG, no blink in from Luo, no Echo Slam to speak of. There's no way.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what IG are meant to do right now. You know, okay, we can talk about what they do when Global Silence is down. What are they meant to do when Global Silence is up?
Farm. Try and force HGT to be the aggressors here, because IG, you know, I'm saying this because IG were playing aggressively into the Roche pit. They don't have great ward coverage. They know that there's blink from Axe. There's all sorts of mobility items up. And then there's a Lion who can close the gap on you. And when you don't have I guess Luna had a BKB. Maybe that's why they were playing so far forward.
But really, you're saying they have no business trying to take fights head on when Global Silence is up.
Yeah.
Again, it's maybe just showing that IG don't like being in that position. They don't like accepting that they're in the position where they can't take fights. They're actually happy to not take fights. We've seen a lot of games where IG just farm, but they want to know that, you know, if it came to it, they could take the fights. And I almost feel like they keep trying to prove that to themselves. You know, we actually can make kills, guys. Well, now they're going to take a smoke, and Global Silence is down for a minute. So it could be into Rush, or could be for some kills.
Looks like it's into Roshan. They want Burning to have the Aegis of the Immortal just to give him that second life. And fallback plan. Or...
That was a quick ping.
Do you
I'm
give
not sure why he suspects them.
Do you give it to Ferrari? Oh man,
it's going to be a fight here.
I see. Walks into the pit, pops his BKB and Burning. What have you got left? Echo Slam jumps onto ZSMJ, so there's no blink and call, and Ferrari's going to rip him a new one. Taken down by the Lucent Beam as the Phoenix now. Supernova, not going to do too much, but Ferrari is cleaning up house. Shadow Fiend and Axe both dead. Silencer on the sidelines. Luo loses his life, but now they can take Roche with ease.
Oh, what a different fight it is when there's no global silence. Phoenix gets off a good ulti, Luna gets off a good ulti, Storm can actually initiate on Axe instead of Axe initiating on Storm. I mean, that fight it looked like a totally different game than all the other fights we've seen so far.
Well, Burning got his BKB off. I think that was one of the biggest factors. They couldn't hex him anymore, they couldn't get any disables down, so he was just there, right-clicking with impunity. There was nothing to actually say, hang on a second, Burning, no. You can stop for a second, go and sit on the naughty step, because we want to deal with a Storm Spirit, we want to try and kill your supports. Right now, they're the ones doing a ton of damage as well.
And according to the gold and XP graphs at least, all of the lead HGT had, they've just lost. I mean, I still feel like HGT is a bit stronger when they have global, they're a lot stronger when they have global up. But whenever global's down, maybe IG will be looking to press, to just add some pressure and force HGT to acknowledge the fact that quite a lot of their strength does depend on the global silence.
Are these spikes actually indicative of when global is up and it feels like they are. Like the first spike for HGT where, you know, IG had the lead and it goes up, that's when Sansa, around there is where Sansa was getting close to level 6, right? And then every spike downwards is where global is down. Spike up for HGT is global's up, and the threat of it being there means IG is a little bit further back, maybe farming up a little safer and not going for the aggressive plays. I guess Axe is the big lead. Okay, that was Axe getting a lot of kills as well. The lead that they managed to build themselves up. Storm jumps in. Oh, what a play! Requiem will rip him a new one. No, the dunk not quite there, but they still bring him down. Aegis Immortal will get expended as they back themselves up, because now Ferrari jumps back in. Burning pops the BKB, but HGT on the retreat. ZSMJ slowed down a tiny bit by that Lucent Beam, but Luo not quite in time with the Fissure to block them off.
Well, IG forced HGT to use the global silence defensively. They do lose the Aegis, but okay, I guess because Bristleback's getting a tower on the other side, it's a good trade for HGT. Otherwise, I would say Aegis for global silence is maybe not that bad of a trade for IG at this point. I really like the setup though from HGT, really clever. I don't know if you remember, there was a clip last year where the old team DK with Mushi on Sentinel kind of waiting at the river, and they baited the rune, and exactly what happened there basically. Baited at the rune, waited to blink on the guy, and just absolutely destroyed the Storm Spirit there. If he doesn't have an Aegis, could lead to a lot more, but yeah, having Aegis in that case.
ZSMJ went back for the Vanguard after his mobility items. I'm not sure how I feel about this, because Vanguard has always been to me, you know, an early game item, get it as early as you can, and that's where its value lies. Now with the Crimson Guard, the added value of that buckler and the buffs it gives, I'm still not sold on it, because I would feel like a BKB hero and Axe would be a little bit better, but maybe he felt that just building into this Vanguard is going to give him that little bit of HP, a little bit of mana regen and sustainability in these team fights that he needs.
Well, two things, yeah. So the Crimson Guard looks like it will help his team a lot in this game as well. There's a lot of people who could, I mean, Luna's got those glaives, which are just going to be hitting everyone all the time. And people, you don't want your support heroes dying to sort of random extra glaives. But the second thing is that, well, first, I want to check, I mean, that does work, right? The Crimson Guard should reduce the glaive damage. But
I'm not going to say yes or no.
I think it works. But anyway, the second thing is that I think HGT realized they're winning fights with global silence, and so prioritizing a BKB is a bit weird in that situation. You know, maybe you get it eventually, but right now, if you're winning fights when you're global silencing, then, you know, what do you want a BKB for? To protect you from the Luna who's going to take the global silence off?
Did I say mana regen for Vanguard? I meant HP regen. I'm an idiot if I said that. Blink forward, Burning gets his BKB off, so the magic damage isn't forthcoming right now from HGT. Air turns back around, starts right-clicking Burning. Eclipse comes down, but BKB targets galore, meaning that's going to be, not really too potent a spell. The Death Ward, though, along with a Supernova, bringing down the Axe, and Icy going to soon follow as Ferrari jumps straight back in. 2 for 2 so far, 3 for 2 now.
Yeah, I want to say that's a poor usage of global silence because they just failed to commit to burning, and I'm not sure why actually. I wonder if if like 2 or 3 people on HGT thought that burning would die anyway. They initiated on him to start with. They used the global. Sure, he's got BKB, but they had called him. If everyone goes on burning, maybe he dies quite fast, or they're worried about wasting time hitting him while he has BKB on and burning's teammates helping. But in the end, it required the Lion. It required Kaka to run all the way around, blink over to the back to finish off burning. He didn't die at the start of the fight. He ran all the way from here up to there, and then eventually got caught by the Lion. I don't know if you can see what I'm drawing, right? That's where he died.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, where you're meant to be advantaged using the global silence to fight, I feel like you really want to kill the person that you initiate on when you global silence. And it looked really strange to me, jumping on the Luna initially and then everyone kind of spreading and splitting up.
The silencer now with that Orchid. Oblivion staff. I was just looking over at Twitch chat and there's a pretty funny copy pasta. It's just the fact that they're spamming it. 2 accounts spamming it non-stop. Yes. You can hear the weight in the voices, the chins slapping together. Casters are very fat apparently.
Okay. Alright.
I have no idea where this has come from. But I'm pretty sure it's the same guy on 2 accounts, just throwing it out there. Icy, now with the Sanja as well as his BKB. Halberd or Sanjanyasha? Feels like a Sanjanyasha game with the 2 BKBs up from Luna and Storm. Halberd isn't going to do that much against you. Against them.
It does feel like a Sanjanyasha game, and I think that's more of the more common build anyway. Halberd is bought normally when you specifically want to Halberd someone. You could get the Halberd just to control the Luna when she's not in BKB, but actually he's just sent himself a plate mail, and this is what we see more and more in Bristlebacks, all these like value pickups. Do you think like last game we're gonna see like a casual Reaver next, and who knows what else?
Casual Reaver, casual Javelins, let's see what you've got. Burning, aggressively farming the Radiant jungle, and he feels he can do this now. Even though Global Silence is up, he's got the backing of Luo. Just around the corner to throw down fishes.
Yeah, so Global Silence is up, and as you said, Silencer with his Oblivion Staff moving straight to that Refresh Orb, which we've seen in the Chinese scene, it's mostly prioritized. In the West, we've...
ZSMJ goes
How
around
did they catch him out?
He just goes around the corner, and they're standing here. He literally comes around the corner, Echo slammed, and dead. There was no way he could react. He couldn't get call off, couldn't blink, nothing. He was just instantly dead.
No, I'm busy talking about Silence and how Chinese players prefer just rushing the Refresh Orb and not getting the Ags or the Midas, but do you see that Chuan finished his Aghanims?
Yes. Yes, I've just seen that. Level 2 Death Ward with Aghanims upgrade. He can solo kill Icy here. Well, Luo will help him out a little bit with a stun to start things off, but Maledict and Death Ward, where are you going, Icy? Where are you going? Straight to your grave, it looks like. Ferrari picks up a double kill while we're watching this, taking down the Lion and Silencer with the help of Faith.
And Silencer didn't even get off his global there. I don't know if that was deliberate, if he thought there wasn't a point in wasting it there, or if he died before he could. Obviously we didn't see that kill, but suddenly this game looking extremely good for IG when, I don't know, about 10 minutes ago, it was looking pretty damn good for HGT, I thought. Especially when Global Silence is up. I would never have expected IG to kill 4 for 0.
Well, it was sort of just one by one. I think the axe kill was the more important one because that's the main initiation from HGT. That's what they're using the Global Silence for. You know, you either pre-global so Axe can then jump in and not really worry too much about anything else, or you time it perfectly where your Axe jumps in and then you global at the same time. So there's no Death Ward, no stuns or anything like that. Without him, what, you don't want to global defensively. You don't want to be globaling as Storm is jumping in on a couple of your heroes, as you're getting picked off one by one. It feels like they want it as an aggressive spell.
Chuan's copying MMY's build item for item. So he's just bought a Shadow Amulet.
Nice.
He's gonna go for that Shadow Blade. So, look, I don't know, maybe Chuan's the one who did it first in scrims or something, but definitely MMY is the one I first saw do it in a pro game. That was yesterday, and maybe this will become the new Witch Doctor thing. It happens sometimes, like a new support hero gets Midas, and then everyone sees it, and suddenly the pro scene is like, when you're that support hero, you just Midas is a thing now.
Yeah.
He scales so well. I mean, it makes sense on Witch Doctor. Like right now, I can't think of why it was never done beforehand. Like why it's a new thing now, because we've always known that Witch Doctor scales really well.
Ferrari. He spots out the smoke. The Hex goes down though. He's been spotted out. Blink call. Why didn't he zip out? Why didn't he just leave HGT alone?
It seems pretty cheeky to me, right? He saw the line for a while.
He saw all of them. He's there. The smoke gets popped and Lion's like, huh, light bulb above his head. Realizes, okay, well, I'm going to walk over here, place a ward. And then Ferrari sees the bristle, sees the axe, and still doesn't zip away.
Did he expect, like he was considering going in for quick kill with BKB, or I don't know, but there's a global up, so I'm not so sure. That's maybe just like...
I think you hit the nail on the head. He was being cheeky on top of the cliff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just not realizing the immediacy of the situation. But in the meantime, Burning's killing Roshan. And Ferrari respawned basically instantly there, so
yeah.
At least there's that.
He did have a whole bunch of Bloodstone charges with the kills he's been racking up. How are we looking net worth wise anyway? IG running away with this lead, currently sitting above 10,000 in terms of net worth. Experience probably going to be around the same, a little bit more in fact, 14k. They were about 15 ahead and giving away a couple of kills here and there. Allowing HGT to have something.
HGT have a blink and a force on Lion, a blink and a force on Axe, and a blink on a Shadow Fiend. In addition to their global silence, I feel like if they come up with the right plan, they should be able to execute it. They have all the tools they need to start the fights on their own terms. Of course, they got to worry about the fact that Storm and Luna both have BKBs, and if they use the global too early, then Storm and Luna will both not be in it.
Kaka now, Ferrari gonna take his revenge. Oh, that's a good point.
And they have to worry about that. Like, if Storm just kills someone before the fight even starts, that's an issue.
Maybe Ferrari was buying items. He did actually pick up a Shiva's while he was dying. Maybe that's what was delaying things. He thought he was safe up on the cliff, and it was a little bit too late by the time they jumped on him. High ground push down coming in though. Ferrari Aegis the Immortal burning with a Skadi. Looking pretty damn unkillable right now. Vortex back onto air, throw down the Lucent Beam. They're not going to kill him straight up, they're just doing this, deterrent harass. Make sure that he can't get into position to blink in, get a good Requiem. These glaives, though, super annoying. ZSMJ did manage to position himself in such a manner that he could get the blink call as the global SARS is used defensively. ZSMJ chased back into his own base. Chuan.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird, I think, because the Axe chose to initiate and ended up having to run away, and the global had to be popped just to defend him. And they really don't want to be doing it that way.
And now Kaka, Finger of Death goes down, but ZSMJ and Air, they don't get too much in return. Ferrari just zipping around, finding kill after kill, and now look at it go. Chuan with a Death Ward. The physical damage is bouncing between everyone. It looks like that might just be good game called by ZSMJ as IG run away with this one 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, in the first game, IG looked always ahead. HGT stayed in for a long time. In the second game, HGT definitely looked ahead for a reasonable part of the game, but we didn't even get to see that position where the game gets all standoffish and people play around global silence. IG just like got to a certain point where they're like, we're just gonna ignore your global silence and assume we'll outplay you, and well, I guess they did.
We're gonna start running at you now. It's time for you to deal with it. And because HGT couldn't be the aggressors, they couldn't be the ones that, were pushing into towers, getting the jump, which they really want to do with Bristle, Axe, and Shadow Fiend. They're 5-man early on in the game. Once SF had mech, you just run into towers with that lineup. But it didn't really work out for them. IG taking a step back, getting a little more farm on the Luna, definitely working out for them. But that is it right now. Game number 2 coming up. Newbie versus VGP will be coming up shortly. Stay tuned, stick around for that one. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.